Hi everybody, welcome back. It is Sunday, May 3rd, and it's beautiful in my little corner of New England. We actually had a weekend where both weekend days were nice, and today it was like high 70s and sunny, so I got to get out and garden and like clean a little bit on the outside, and had toddler playtime as well and a new swing and everything, so life was pretty good. And now I get to film. So the past couple of weeks have been pretty good stitching weeks for me. I would say that I invested quite a bit of my time in Renaissance Mermaid, and I finished it. So let me show you what it looks like now. Oh, I can hardly get the whole thing in. Here, there we go. So this is stitched on a 32 count opal linen in the colorway Galene by Under the Sea Fabrics. I replaced all of the DMC with Auvert Soie d'Alger, which is a little bit thicker than DMC, so it gives a really good coverage. But the Karen water lilies, the beads, and the treasures are all, and the cranic are all called for. And I think it turned out really nice. I was a little bit nervous when I was kind of doing this before I added the blue, of how it would look, but when I added the blueberry here, which is really pretty, it just looked stunning. So I'm really happy with the way this turned out. And now I'm developing my own hanger of finishes because I've got my monk's hood here now and this, and I've never kept finishes like this for very long because I take them to get them framed. I love the process of stitching, but I'm definitely a product stitcher. I've heard a lot of people talking about that lately because everything I stitch, I want it on the wall. I want to see it. And I love having things that I work on and things that I love be part of my like visual environment. And so, you know, that means like bookshelves and cross stitch and other projects sort of being out and being displayed. So anyway, that was the big thing. I also worked some on my Chatelaine, which is Egypt garden, and let me show you that. So here is my Chatelaine Egypt garden. What I've done is basically put the yellow and gold caps on all four sides of this plus size design. There are just a few beads in it and I didn't have time to add them, but I thought they looked really pretty and added a lot to it. And there's another, some more kind of earth tones that go around it. And then there is like a palm tree that goes in every corner here, made up of some regular cross stitches and specialty stitches. Eek. I am very nervous about those and getting them to turn out nicely, but I'm looking forward to trying them. So here's my progress on this. So my other big whip is, it's based off of a painting by Frederick William Burton called Meeting on the Turret Stairs. And this is what it looks like now. So I have not gotten a lot done on this because I was focusing on my Renaissance Mermaid, but I did fill in black, which everything is called for except I replaced the DMC 310 with Anchor Black, which gives really good coverage. And I'm stitching this on a 28 count cream lugana 2/1 half cross. And I like doing the grid lines myself because I want them to fall like between stitches and not like in the middle of a stitch. I don't like the way that pre-gridded fabric is gridded. It doesn't really work for me, so I do it myself. But anyway, I also was able to fill in this blue right here. And I really love how this is coming out. I think, as some people have commented too, that this what intrigued me about this painting was the story it seems to tell. And it was painted in 1864, but it's based on a Danish poem that was translated into English in 1855. And the poem is called Hallaleel and Hildebrand. And the story of this is that Hallaleel was the king's only daughter. And she had many brothers and a guard of her own. And Hildebrand was a knight whose duty it was to guard her. And they fell in love. And eventually their love was found out, and they were told they couldn't be together anymore. Became a forbidden love, and ultimately her brothers fought Hildebrand, and it does not end well. He ended up being killed. So this painting right here, even though, you know, there are lots of kind of action moments in this, what's been talked about is that the artist chose to depict a very kind of still, intimate moment in their story. And one of the ways he does it is he frames them in very tightly in the picture. So these turret stairs are very small. He kept it very neutral, and he made their clothes very bright. And he actually also partially hid both of their faces, so that it's not about what they look like or who the models were, but about their body language and about the emotional intensity between them. And you know, you can also see like the red and the blue has been mirrored in other paintings as well between two people. And you know, she has red hair, he has a red surcoat, her blue dress is sort of reflected in his greaves. So they've got that sort of mirroring between their colors too. And I think it is so beautiful. And it's not a story that is often depicted. It's one that I didn't know about. But I'm really happy to have found out a little bit more about this kind of forbidden love story. And I can't wait to stitch more of it. So anyway, that's a little bit more of the background of this, this painting. So I worked on my Christmas garden by Blackbird Designs, which is this. And this is being stitched on 40 count Earthen by Picture This Plus. I have replaced the called for colors with Gloriana silks, and here we go. So I was able to do this part, do this stag, and then there are a few kind of little gold motifs that I filled in, and that was it. And I have to say, like, 40 count is becoming a new favorite. I mean, not for Miras or anything like that, but for other types of projects, because I love how neat my stitching looks with one strand. And I don't get good enough coverage with one strand on 36 count. I've done some test stitching and it doesn't, you know, work so much for me, but I like the coverage I get with one strand on 40 count. And so even though it's quite a bit smaller, and I don't necessarily enjoy smaller, I enjoy the single strand coverage I get, which makes it worth it. So stay tuned, because there might be Mania plans that involve lots of 40 count. We'll see. Another project that I worked on was Mirabilia's Tree of Hope. Should look like that. And I opted to stitch this on just a 32 count natural linen, which turned out to be kind of stiff, but it's working for me well. And so I finished this whole it's either 780 or 580. I finished this green here, and lo and behold, my own old nemesis showed up. More sea glass from Karen Water Lily, yay! This is a little bit brighter, the dye lot is different, and I think I wouldn't have thought that it would look good with this color, but I really like the contrast to it, and I think it's coming out nice. So I'm happy to say that I don't have to like fussy cut this or cut certain portions of it out so far. I kind of like how it's looking, and I just intend to keep working. I have just 2 new acquisitions, and the first is a birthday present, and it was decorated by my family and just sort of has little cute kind of sayings, and including the word hi, which a little one in my life can write independently. And then my mom turned it into a project bag. So I have a new project bag with child art and other kind of fun little sayings. And then my only other thing I got was my Color and Cotton from March, which is tutu, and I get a 32 count linen, and this is a fat half. And I've actually, based on what I'm getting from Color and Cotton and the way, not so much my tastes are changing, but what I'm discovering about how I like to stitch is that I think these are more suited for my 40 count project. So I actually just contacted her and asked if I could switch from 32 count to 40 count and just take it down to a fat quarter so that I have more kind of smaller, higher count fabric to stitch with. So anyway, those are my new acquisitions. So Mania Plans. I wasn't really going to do anything for Mania, and then I decided that I needed to do something for Mania because I've been in a really good stitching groove for the past few months, and I've been getting finishes 1 a month, 2 big Miras, 1 Anora Corbett and a Plum Street. So I've had 4 finishes in 4 months, but I can kind of feel myself like wanting to change it up a little bit for May. And so what I think will work for me, and as Jessie Marie said, these plans are set in sand, not in stone, but right now my plan is to kind of do the opposite of Stitchmaynia. So I am dedicating my weekends to my bigger whips. So my Chatelaine and my HAED, Meeting on the Turret Stairs, I will dedicate weekends to stitching on those because I usually get some big chunks of time, especially on Saturdays, to work. During the weekdays, I'm doing a half and half. So half will be dedicated to whips and half will be dedicated to new starts. I didn't really want to do 20 new starts or 21 or 31 or whatever. But I thought, okay, 10 new starts and I can pull out 10 other whips. I haven't worked at all on this, but, oh, I guess I should show you what it looks like. Okay, Joan Elliott's Autumn Fairy is actually going on my lap stand, my frame and lap stand. And I haven't worked on it at all, but this is a Fiberlicious fabric of the month from February. I forget the name of it, but it's really pretty. So maybe even today, this is going on my my frame and lap stand, and we'll get one dedicated day working on it, and then I will pick it back up again in June, more regularly, I think. So that's whip number 1. So this is the Peacock Keeper by Lindy Stitches, and Let me show you what that looks like. And I have the most pathetic little start. I mean, I even ordered, like, this is the 32 count linen in Jazz by Picture This Plus, and I ordered all of the called for over-dyed cotton flosses. I even put them on a ring. I'm impressed. So I have all of these ready to go. This will get a dedicated day at least. This one I'm not so sure about because, like, winter stitching right now when it's so nice outside, I'm not really feeling it. But I might spend a day working on Welcome Winter from the Drawn Thread. I just have some 32 count linen in the color Flax, and this is what I've got on it. I find that there's like quite a bit of sort of counting with how spread out things are. But anyway, it's pretty. So I'll be working on it at some point. So there's another one. Oh, and I found, this is a whip that I had lost. This is Halloween Cat by Satsuma Street. And this is on a 32 count linen that I dyed myself. And here we go. So I just have the top part of the cat, but again, this was folded up in my fabric stash like it was unused fabric, and I don't have a lot of unused fabric. And I thought I had remembered dyeing 2 pieces of this, so I thought this was the one that I hadn't gotten worked on, but I guess maybe I only did 1 and I don't remember. So this will get a dedicated day. Now this next one, I really thought, should this be the one going on my lap stand? I'm not sure. But right now I'm thinking it'll be Autumn Fairies. So this is Firefly Fairies by Lavender and Lace, which I love, love, love. And haven't done much on it. But there we go. This is 32 count Zephyr by Picture This Plus. That will get a day. And Thanksgiving Fairy by Mirabilia. And this is one, I've got a good bit of work on this, not a ton. But this is one that I actually considered maybe doing a little bit every day to try to get a finish in May, because one of these things, even if it's like one of the small little starts I'm doing, I want to finish in May just so I have like a May finish. I'm on a roll and I want to I want to stay that way. This was a kit. It came with a whole bunch of well, they were called Crescent Colors, now they're Classic Colorworks, but they're just a few of them. But anyway, that will get a day. This, okay, Cabin in the Woods, which I believe is Tiny Modernist. Yeah, Tiny Modernist. And sorry for the dangly threads. I didn't go through, and that's all I've done. It's a 32 count Mirage by Picture This Plus, which I thought was very appropriate for mountain cabin winter snow-ish. And of course, during the month of May, during the week, I will also give my the whips that I've showed you, my Christmas Garden, my Tree of Hope, one dedicated day, weekday during the month, as well as maybe my HAED and my Chatelaine, so that I have, you know, full dedicated days, whatever time I can work on. You know, I stitch anywhere from 2 hours to a lot more. Usually it's 2 to 4. Most days 2 to 4 at night. And then Saturday, it could be like 12. So I can make a lot of progress on Saturday. So let me go get some of my new starts. Quick funny story. I love watching Autumn Lane Stitchery. It's a husband and wife sort of floss tuber team, and he is the designer for Autumn Lane Stitchery. They have 6 videos out now, and about 3 weeks ago I was really happy to win a giveaway from them. And it was like, in a way weird, but also like adorable and interesting that in their last video, which you must go watch, they're really funny, they kept mentioning Jillian and talking about sending flosses to Jillian, and it was kind of throughout this like hour-long video, and that was me. And I kept thinking, oh, I should like answer back, or I should like comment, or like something like that, but it was pre-recorded and everything. So if you watch them, and if you watch their 6th floss tube, like, and they keep mentioning Jillian, like, that's me. And the fact that they hadn't sent my giveaway yet was like not a problem at all. I was very patient and everything. And actually, I did message them and I said, I'm more excited that their latest pattern, Sakura, is out. It's beautiful. I have the PDF already and some fabric on order. And that was the original pattern that when I saw Kenny from Kenny Stitches working on that model for them, that's what sent me to kind of look for them and put them on my radar. So anyway, that's that. Okay, so new starts. I'm gonna do a little one. So this says, housework never killed anyone, but why take a chance? I'm probably putting this on some opalescent 32 count linen that I had lying around. I don't have very much of it. I might hand dye it a little bit. I have some gorgeous color and cotton threads, and I'm just going to pick colors I like and use color and cotton threads on them. I did do a May 1st start. So this is like actually a whip, but this is Mermaid and Jellyfish by Siren Design, or Siren, on Etsy. I'm not sure if it's available anymore, but so my Renaissance Mermaid, I had to order a fat half of that fabric when typically I would try to fit a Mira on a fat quarter. So I had some extra left over that I cut off, and I was able to use some of that 32 count opal Galene to start this for a little person in my life. And so it's really pretty. I am kind of using similar colors but picking my own. And this past week was like, the theme was migraine, so I had some miserable days. Much better now. So this day was like a really bad day. I could have finished it, I think, if I had not had like a migraine that was yuck and awful, and don't even want to think about it. I have the new Mirabilia coming out, and I happen to have a large piece of French lilac lugana that I think she will look beautiful on. So I love the peaceful purple linen, but I have this darker fabric, and so I'm going to stitch her on this. I don't have it yet. What else? And this may like change depending on what comes in and when it comes in and everything. Hopefully I'll get these things in May. I ordered some 40 count linen for Dragonfly Quaker, and I think I have some threads that I am going to use for this, but I really liked the different motifs. So there's that. I have loved this pattern, Peacock and Pomegranate from Cottage Garden Samplings. And this is the one I talked about, like it's actually very big. And for this, I got 36 count Winter Moon linen, or 36 count linen in the colorway Winter Moon. And I'm not sure what to do about this because I think I'll probably use 2 strands of floss for this. I don't think I will be able to do, I don't think I'll get good enough coverage on 1 strand. So this is a possible potential new start. I've ordered some 40 count for Night Walk Down, and I actually have a whole ton of these different Fiberlicious silks that I am going to maybe use for this. That's a purple. And if, you know, me as a stitcher, that when I change something, and I don't do a lot of changing on my patterns and projects, I fly by the seat of my pants. I don't plan it out ahead of time. It's whatever feels right or looks right in the moment, for good or for ill, done. So I just have all of these beautiful, not that, I mean, some of these I don't think I'll be using pink, but I definitely think I could be using, you know, the kind of blue and purple. So you'll have to wait and see. The fabric has not come in yet. Fingers crossed that it will, and we shall see. I also ordered 40 count fabric for Cat Lover, and this is another one that I am picking my own colors. I think for the green and the brown, I'll pick my own DMC, and for, it uses 2 shades of pink and 2 shades of blue, and I think that I will probably sub for pinks and blues that I have that I like, different silks or whatever. But there's that. I have ordered fabric and threads for this one as well. And yeah, I actually, for like the gold and the black and the white and at least one of the browns, I'm just using DMC, but I ordered all of the greens, pinks, and like the red and this tan in the called for Weeks Dye Works because I wanted that look. I just didn't feel like I would necessarily need to get the some of the colors if they weren't variegated enough. This next one I have, I would love to start, especially since I have the, I think it's 30 count linen that goes with it, but I can't find the threads anywhere. Now, not that I've called like 400 shops or whatever, but like, I just can't find them. And I just didn't realize that it has an embellishment pack. And I can't find that anywhere. I found one for like a really unreasonable price, but I was like, this. So, you know, I have choices where I could sub in other colors and find my own beads and embellishments, or I could just wait. So right now I'm leaning towards waiting on this so that I can get called for. Last but not least, this one, I'm still not sure if it's going to work. So this might be like a day of kind of test stitching. But I think you guys know, if you've watched the last couple of videos, that I have been wanting to start Templar Prophecy from Long Dog Samplers. I've wanted to stitch any Long Dog sampler because I love their designs. And I might be like absolutely insane. Might be insane. But I got this 32 count opal linen from my April maybe, from Fiberlicious. And it's like sufficiently dark. It's pretty dark. And I am going to be test stitching 1/1 using this Gloriana Winter White. I think that the darkness will come through, the variegation of the fabric will show really well. I think there's a little bit of gray in this and a little bit of almost tan undertones as well. So I'm going to start in one of the corners or with one of the main motifs and just stitch a little bit and see what it looks like, because 2/2, this thing is huge. 1/1, it's only like 10 by 11. So this may be like super tiny, too tiny, you know, not working or whatever. But one of my Mania plans is to try it out, see if it works. And I don't know. We'll see. So I think that's pretty much it. I have a mess around me. Mess. And that's okay. All in the name of good FlossTube content. I watch a ton of it. So do my part to make some content as well. I'm thinking I'm going to film next week. I've only been doing once every 2 weeks. So with kind of new starts and stuff, I think I want to do a video next weekend as well for you guys. And hopefully some of my plans involve sort of alternating. So working on a whip. So on Monday, a whip, and then Tuesday, new start, then a whip, then a new start, then a whip, and then weekends on some of my big projects. And I'll see you next Sunday, and hopefully I will have progress to show you and everything. And until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful mania, whatever you're doing, even if it's Monogamania or Stitchmaynia or whatever it is. I hope you enjoy it a lot, or maybe you're doing nothing and not changing it at all, and that's awesome too. I'll see you next week. Bye guys.